In today's video, I'm diving into the mysteries revealed in One Piece chapter 1090, especially focusing on the emotions of the Seraphims and Hancock's lineage factor secrets. There's this amazing moment where the Seraphim, without intending to, start showing emotions. Particularly S-Snake, who is a copy of Hancock, displays special feelings towards Luffy. And we can't overlook Vegapunk's excitement here. He sees the emotional development in the Seraphim as a doorway to new possibilities and discoveries related to lineage factors. What does this discovery imply? How does Hancock's lineage factor affect Luffy? Is it just coincidence, or does it have a deeper meaning? If you think my analysis hits the mark, smash that button and subscribe. And if you have a different take, well, drop your thoughts in the comments below. Heads up, there are spoilers up to chapter 1090 in this video, so let's dive in. First up, let's talk about fully stoned Lilith, Usopp, and partially stoned Frankie, who were stoned by S-Snake, got freed from their stoned forms. I was totally confused because everyone was fine. In the basement, there's Cypher Pole agents already captured. And separately, the rampaging Seraphims also caught, thanks to Bubble Gun. For Seraphims with lineage factors of ability users, bubbles work just like sea prism stones, totally immobilizing them when fully enveloped, super effective against ability users. For S-Hawk, they even took the extra step of confiscating his sword. Frankie was thanking S-Snake through a monitor for reversing the petrification, but Vegapunk said he hadn't programmed such a thing. Then we get this flashback of S-Snake. Luffy's begging her, "Don't attack them, they're my friends, you're the only one who can help them," looking straight into her eyes. S-Snake, blushing, tells Luffy to stop staring at her. And guess what? Her expression was a spitting image of the original Hancock when she fell for Luffy. I never expected even S-Snake to fall for Luffy, totally blew my mind. Meanwhile, Jinbe, knowing the context, found it obvious that Hancock's copy couldn't refuse Luffy's request. And he cracked up finding it funny that she'd shared the same feelings as Hancock. But for Vegapunk, this was unexpected. The Seraphim developing emotions was a sign of new possibilities and discoveries in lineage factors. He was so pumped, taking notes like crazy. When exactly Hancock's lineage factor was taken remains unclear, but is it genetically predetermined to fall for Luffy? That's a possibility worth considering. S-Hawk, carrying Mihawk's lineage factor, doesn't show any emotions towards Zoro. This makes me wonder if S-Snake is the special one here. Falling in love on a genetic level? Luffy's charm is no joke, folks. And then, after Luffy thanks her for reversing the petrification, she mishears it as a confession of love. That misunderstanding tops even the original Hancock. But if Seraphims do have emotions, it's like they're practically invincible humans, right? Seems like they can talk about stuff other than orders, so treating them as giant humans might be the way to go. And it's hard to imagine that the Egghead incident will just end with the Seraphims locked in bubbles. So S-Snake showing emotions might become a key point in future battles. Back at Sabati Archipelago, Hancock helped Luffy and his crew set sail. So it would be super interesting if S-Snake lends her powers to Luffy's crew too. In chapter 1089, it was revealed that Robin and Kaku, who didn't appear, were resting due to injuries from fighting with Seraphims. Kaku went after directionally challenged Zoro, and Robin was with Chopper's group. But I'm curious about which Seraphim they fought. Edison was safe, but sadly, Shaka and Pythagoras didn't make it. I thought being robots they'd be somewhat okay, so that was quite a shock. I'm really hoping for a storyline where Vegapunk brings them back to life. The crew's safety was confirmed, but in Labo phase, communication was only restored. And they still can't disable the barrier in Frontier Dome, so escaping is impossible. York set up passwords for all systems and didn't share the knowledge with Punk Records. So Stella and Satellite can't easily disable it either. York's thoroughness is fitting for a Vegapunk clone. Meanwhile, Vegapunk confirms Nami as the navigator and starts discussing the future course while looking at the log pose. Nami says they can't head northeast based on her records from Wano Country. And when Vegapunk hears northeast, he mentions Elbaf as the destination. I was thrilled. I expected Elbaf to come into play, but didn't think it would be so soon. There were talks of skipping it since Shanks was there. With giants like Dory, Brogy, Oimo, and Kars involved, it's really exciting. Well, that's if they can escape Egghead Island. The coast is lined with warships, looking hopeless, but luckily, The Sunny is in labo phase. They're discussing using Vegapunk's Force 01 to carry the Sunny, aiming northeast. Vegapunk Force 01 has a fixed flight range, but the Sunny can use CUDA burst to fly 1 kilometer. So preparations for this plan were underway. With the destination set to Elbaf and the escape plan decided, Vegapunk Stella, Atlas, and Edison started hacking the passwords York set up. It's like a battle of wits between Vegapunks. Luffy, Frankie, Lilith, and Bonnie were moving through labo phase to relocate the Sunny. Lilith, having never left Egghead Island, was thrilled about leaving. Frankie reminded her it's not a field trip, but watching Lilith, I couldn't help but remember Carrot. Luffy and Bonnie were concerned about food after escaping, but Luffy was surprised to see Bonnie's sudden change in mood. She seemed intent on killing Vegapunk, but stopped after seeing all of Kuma's memories. That must have led her to that decision, right? Before seeing Kuma's memories, Bonnie believed Vegapunk transformed Kuma into a heartless combat weapon for the sake of research. Even after landing on Egghead, she chased Vegapunk, seeking his life. But seeing Kuma's memories cleared up the misunderstanding. Vegapunk promised not to tell Bonnie why Kuma became a pacifista, as it would hurt her. He mentioned Kuma made the decision to lose his self-awareness, so Bonnie accepting that reasoning means she's decided not to kill him, right? I wonder what part of Kuma's past Bonnie saw. We only got glimpses of it, like his childhood with adults chasing and beating him and shadows resembling celestial dragons. It looked pretty dark. Vegapunk was also said to be fascinated by Kuma's physical strength and potential. Considering that, the special race Bonnie mentions seems relevant. It's unclear if Egghead's incident will reveal Kuma's memories, but I'm excited to see the truth unveiled. Lucci, temporarily allied with the Straw Hats to subdue the Seraphim, was overheard saying, 4 severely injured, 2 Vegapunks dead, the Straw Hat crew is... When Kaku questioned him, he brushed it off as talking to himself. Suspicious, right? Later, inside the Navy ship, St. Saturn and Kizaru were discussing their attack strategy. St. Saturn asked about the power plant they need to protect. And Kizaru replied, Lucci's a competent man. He sent us all the information we need, while handing over a memo. Based on the intel, the Navy's getting ready for battle, with the Vice Admirals moving out. So Lucci's muttering was actually him secretly passing inside info to Kizaru, huh? He evaded Kaku's question, maybe sharing details exclusively with Kizaru. Originally part of the Celestial Dragon's Direct Control Unit, CP0, Lucci fought alongside Luffy to defeat the Seraphim. It seemed he might keep helping Luffy's side, but he's sticking to his government duties. Expected, but man, I wish I could take back that moment of trust. Even though they subdued the Seraphim, Kaku's severely injured. Fighting the Straw Hats now is a huge disadvantage, and there's a chance they might betray them again once backup arrives. Before their temporary alliance, Luffy warned Lucci not to take out his frustration on his crew or the Vegapunks if he can't beat Luffy. Lucci readily accepted the challenge, so I'm kinda hoping he'll keep his word and maybe feed Kizaru false info. Lucci's not likely to betray, but Kaku seems to have a heart. Maybe he'll stop Lucci's betrayal. It's intriguing that Lucci's keeping his interactions with Kizaru from Kaku. The government might abandon Lucci and his team. St. Saturn said the things worth protecting are the punk records in York's brain, Mother Flame producing power plant, and York himself. Everything else is expendable. Admiral Doberman mentioned Cyberpol agents, including Lucci, are still inside, but St. Saturn coldly compared humans to insects, easily replaced if lost. Kizaru joked about being a corporate slave, but Doberman's likely in the same boat. It's like a mini representation of our world, kind of heartbreaking. At this point, Lucci's on the chopping block, but Kizaru praised him as a competent. Maybe St. Saturn will change his mind. Wishful thinking, though. They'd initially went to assassinate Vegapunk, but failed, so it's a net zero. Plus, CP0 messed up multiple missions in Wano country. They might even be labeled useless by the 5 elders, so Lucci and his team might still be considered disposable. Suddenly, I find myself rooting for Lucci and Kaku. In the conversation between Kizaru and St. Saturn, there was talk about the Frontier Dome being a laser interception system, meaning Kizaru could potentially get in with his abilities. It was speculated before that Kizaru could break through, and it turns out there might be a chance. But Kizaru didn't seem too keen, given that Sentomaru was in the way. So St. Saturn suggested just leaping over, but Kizaru, surprisingly, said it wouldn't be right to crush the resolve of a man standing in his way. Looks like Kizaru has some principles he wants to uphold. He knew he could break through, but held back because Sentomaru, a dear friend, was blocking his path. Kizaru also mentioned that if the Navy attacks first, Sentomaru could command countless Sea Beast weapons and 50 Mark IIIs to sink Navy ships, causing massive damage. Typical Kizaru, valuing his comrades. I thought power-hungry St. Saturn would dismiss that and just force his way through, but he considered Kizaru's input, focusing on attacking the vulnerable Sea Beast weapons first and then leaving the invulnerable Mark IIIs for later. Smart move, as destroying the warships would significantly weaken the Navy's power. Finally, Kizaru made his move, using his Yata no Kagami technique to bend light and swiftly land on Egghead. We've seen this move in Sabati Archipelago, and Kizaru's techniques never cease to impress. Sentomaru, sensing the attack, quickly ordered the Mark IIIs to eliminate the intruder. Kizaru appeared in a flash, delivering a powerful kick, but Sentomaru, proudly claiming to have the world's best guard, impressively blocked Kizaru's high-speed kick. Blocking Kizaru's attack is no small feat. The impact shook the entire island. Even Luffy, who was right above on the Sunny, noticed the light and powerful haki, sensing someone strong had arrived. Luffy's reaction showed Kizaru was serious about his attack. However, it'll be tough for Sentomaru to keep Kizaru at bay for long. The Straw Hat's escape now hinges on how long Sentomaru can hold him off. For Kizaru, the Frontier Dome isn't a threat. If Sentomaru loses, we might see a showdown with Kizaru in the lab phase. This could mean a rematch between the Straw Hats and Kizaru since Sabati Archipelago. I hope they can escape before Kizaru arrives. But as a fan, I also want to see the Straw Hats, now stronger, team up and take revenge on Kizaru. Plus, Sentomaru and S-Bear, who has Kuma's lineage factors and was also in the Sabati Archipelago, are there. If a direct confrontation with Kizaru starts, it'll be interesting to see if they join in. And that's the latest from Chapter 1090, revealing the current situation. Can't wait to see the full picture of the Egghead incident unfold. That's all for today. This channel posts summaries, explanations, and ranking videos related to One Piece. If you like One Piece, we'd be happy if you could support us by subscribing to our channel and commenting. Thank you for watching to the end, and see you in the next video.